think your guitar could be louder.
Hello?
You want to let them know?
Dana? Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. It's a beautiful, gorgeous November morning. You know, when you wake up and you see the sun shining like that, now it's working. Thank you, Dana. You wake up and you say, this is the day the Lord has made, and I rejoice in it. Yes. I'm Reverend Brent, and I just want to welcome you here if you're here visiting for the first time or returning after a long time or coming every Sunday. I just welcome you. What I'd like you to do right now is to turn off your electronic devices so they don't interfere with the sound system. And after you do that, turn to the person next to you or across from you and just greet that unrepeatable miracle.
I can't hear it.
Good morning. Good morning.
Unrepeatable. Should I sing it?
Check.
Check. Good morning. Good morning. There's Rick Walt all the way over there. Do you see him? I thought he was somewhere else. No, he lives here. He was in Charlotte. Yeah.
Last week, a couple of us saw an amazing documentary with Dr. Eben Alexander, the brain surgeon who had that amazing 7-day death experience. And he was talking, he said, one line that stayed with me a lot, he said that the founders of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, because what they discovered as they got deeper and deeper into quantum physics and metaphysics was that they became mystics. And that was Einstein, Niels Bohr, and another one was Max Planck, all physicists. Now we've got sound. Okay. And let there be sound. Yay. Okay. I just want to read this to you. Just think about this. Max Planck, the great physicist, talked about the nature of existence, a direct quote. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds the most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter.
Nice.
We'll have I guess we don't have the words today. We'll have a chant this morning, followed by a reading from Reverend Sarah Hargrave. Welcome.
This is a really easy one. It's called We Are One. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one, we are one. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. We are one in the Spirit of God, in the Spirit of love. We are one in the Spirit of love, right? We are one in the Spirit of love. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. We are one in the Spirit of love, in the Spirit of joy. We are one in the Spirit of joy, yes. We are one in the Spirit of joy. We are
We're so blessed to have you. Instead of a prayer today, I want to read from Creative Thought magazine. And if you aren't reading this, you're missing a lot. So I'm reading from Friday, November 1st. So just close your eyes and soak up the words. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Make the most of yourself, for that is all there is of you." With loving intention, I place my awareness into the one universal creative presence, recognizing its unbounded love for me as itself. It is God, the self-givingness of spirit, and I am also that. I am open to accepting more of my amazing true self than ever before. Today I claim my life is amazing, and I know that I am an avenue for the kingdom of all good. I am the awesome power of God. All I need is right where I am. God is amazing, and so am I. Allowing the truth of these ideas to be embodied and awakened in my soul, an inner energy is stirred within me. I savor the flow of my own creative ideas. I am the outlet of divine mind, filled and brimming over with thoughts that sparkle as life-giving, fun-filled, awesome experiences. Joy is my natural state. I feel amazing. I let go of self-imposed restrictions and all unloving self-talk and behavior. I accept that I am whole and complete in health, love, financial well-being, creative ideas, and self-confidence. I open and receive from the spiritual treasure house all that I need, all that is good, and all that I can imagine and beyond. With gratitude, I claim my divine birthright and the power to allow an expanded consciousness of my oneness in God. I release my word to divine law, and so it is. Well, we are so blessed for special music today. We have Lisa Ferraro, who has been the music director for Asilomar for the last 3 years. So you've heard me talk about how wonderful Asilomar is, and the music is a big part of it, what it's been. And Lisa and Etika have been touring the globe for the last 5 years, and they're about to put together their second CD together. The fifth, sorry. I left out a couple. So, and their music will not be on the CD recording today. So if you want to experience their music, we have the Lisa and Etika Mall that is open and welcoming to you, and they'd love to meet you. And they traveled to Istanbul to record their collection of songs inspired by the poet Rumi. And some of the things that people say about them is they are sonic nourishment, ambassadors of kindness, and shamans of song.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so great to be here again, seeing so many beautiful friends that we've met along the way. This is off of our latest CD, not the one that's about to come, but it's a song called Reflection. Drops within a stream flowing towards an ocean of light. We may forget where we come from. We may forget where we're going to. I might not see that you're a reflection of me as much as I'm a reflection of you. Just a seed, a blessed seed with eternity unfolding in me. And I pray that as I grow, I will reveal the love that illuminates my soul. When I remember where we come from, when I remember
prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. This is.
May I tap into the vast intelligence that spins an elaborate symphony from the breathless encounter of two cells. Two cells becoming 4, becoming 16, becoming 32, 64, becoming spine, heart, lungs, fingernails, and eyelashes. I welcome the effortlessness of gravity, the power of the connection between a raindrop and thirsty ground, a mother and her newborn child. May I know my true north and navigate with the certainty of wild geese, the confidence of salmon returning home. And returning home, may I reveal the same unabashed and authentic hue as the tulip expressing its tulipness, or the tiger expressing its tigerness. So I simply exhale, knowing that in this fractal wave of time, every moment is a gift with which to align and express the infinite, the infinite, the infinite divine.
This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection.
May I become a reflection
of the infinite one.
Of the infinite one.
This is my simple prayer. My simple prayer. May I become a reflection. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. Right. This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one.
What a joy to have you with us today. Good morning. I'm Reverend Sarah Hargrave, staff minister at this wonderful spiritual community. And we always like to start with gratitude, and we want to say special thanks to Trish Brady for our new office furniture. Trish knew of an organization that was downsizing and getting rid of some things. And so it's like early Christmas for us at the office because we got the things they were releasing. So, and I hear they're wonderful. And this is Veterans Day weekend, and I want to express gratitude for our GGCSL veterans and applaud you. So would all of you who have served in whatever way as veterans, please stand up and let us applaud you. Thank you so much for your service, and hope you made note of who's a veteran and go up afterwards and thank them personally for the service they have done for us. Children's blessing today is they're going to be talking about going with the flow. So that's something we can all learn to do. There's a volunteer fair today around their room. There's wonderful tables with wonderful opportunities for you to give your sacred and loving service to this community and be blessed by the giving and blessed by the receiving of it. There's an affirmation card workshop today taught by Karyl Durkin. Karyl, Gail Durkin, do you want to stand up a second? And You'll create your own personal affirmation cards with pictures and empowering words, and it's kind of like mini treasure maps that you can take with you. Also, Janet Carol Ryan is going to be starting a class on Monday, Speak Your Word, Create Your World. So, Janet, you want to stand up so people see you and learn to sculpt your life with your words. And this class is backed by popular demand. And then there's Francine Huss, who's doing a 5-week class called Think More, Give More, Live More. You want to stand up, Francine? And learn how to prosper in all ways. And it's open to anybody who wants to take it, and meet her after the service at the education table. You can also go to the education table to sign up for Thanksgiving dinner with the Walkers. It's a wonderful that you're opening your home for us, and people bring part of the food and enjoy the companionship. So do that for Thanksgiving. And there's a birthday party this Friday night for Sagittariuses, and it's at Sue Ruta's, and everybody's invited. So please bring some finger food to share, and whether you're a Sagittarius or not, come and enjoy the celebration. I understand Scorpios had a great time last time for the first event. There's a holiday fair coming up, a holiday bazaar, the first 2 Sundays in December. So if you want to sell your wonderful creations, contact Paula Karp, or go online and download the contract from the documents portion of the website. There's also pledge cards on the education table, and if you haven't pledged, please do so, because we're planning our budget for the next year, and just like you, we need to see how much is coming in so we can decide what we're going to do with our activities and services, and we want to be there for your enjoyment and enlightenment next year. So please support us with your pledges if you haven't already. And this is the week for my once-a-month spiritual conversation, coffee and conversation at Il Fornaio. Join me to discuss how to use spiritual principles in everyday life and work. And the topic this month is Bless Your Buttons. So you can just pick up a coffee or tea at the carry-out bar and come join us at the table. So. And there's 2 other events coming up. Those of you who have participated in the Helping Each Other Succeed, where we're networking and supporting each other. Another one of those is going to happen on the 24th of November, right after service. And then there's a winter solstice event that's going to be coming up on Saturday, December 21st. Friday. Well, sometime in December, late December. So check your bulletin for further information. Okay, so our theme for this year is the New World and the Ancient Path, and our theme for November is Connection. We have a wonderful altar by Sean Haven. She always does. Everybody does a wonderful altar. We have a different one, different person doing it every week. And she has Indra's Net, which is all about connection. We are all connected, certainly. And the rainbow is about evolution. So, and it's about changing our vibrations so we experience the world differently. Now, I get the honor to introduce, if I can find what I had to say. All right, here we are. So we are really honored to have Reverend Josephine Smith here, and her vision. She's a very dynamic person, very dynamic speaker, and her vision is to honor the body, mind, and spirit. And she's done that by beginning a church with a well-being center in Petaluma, and she now has a chiropractic ministry in Santa Rosa. So we are really blessed to have her with us today. So give her a warm welcome.
I just want to get a look at everybody. Wow, have you seen yourselves? Pretty awesome. I am so blessed to be here. Some of us go way back. And we'll just great book. It's the one I'm using. It's one to keep by your bedside as well. There's never been a better time to be enlightened. And although he says that, I would add, there's never been a better time to be the catalyst for the enlightenment of humanity. Never been a better time to be a catalyst. Do you think yourself a catalyst in the evolution of humanity? Is that scary, or do you go, yeah, that's me? Scary. Go even further. Brother Ishmael Tete says, if you can reach your goal, it's too small. If you can reach your goal, it's too small, and it's not meant to scare us. It's meant to pull us to a greater way of being. The whole sense behind this book is that we are called to a greater way of being within us. Don't you feel it? If you were to put your hand on your heart, can you feel that? Some of it's really big. We can hardly sit down. And some of us, we have to go really quiet, soft within, to feel that pulse that is calling us to serve and be greater. That impulse is in us all. And whether we have quieted it down, I'm going to invite us today to let it be out there. So today, could you be out there? Your theme for the month is connection, right? So we're connecting, let's be out there. Is there an amen somewhere in here? Amen. For me, I have to get a little excited to get me going. It's almost like I need a little cattle prod sometimes. I'm sure none of you can relate to that, but you know people who do. Andrew Cohen has 5 tenets, 5 ways of being that allow us to be in that evolutionary impulse, that movement forward. I'd like to take a quote from him. He says it so perfectly. Right here. We have within us an evolutionary impulse to move forward. That impulse is the same uninhibited impulse that burst forth as the Big Bang. When that impulse is expressed at the highest level of consciousness, it is the inspiration that pulls us towards spiritual liberation and enlightenment. We have to first feel the impulse. First tenet of this impulse is the clarity of intention. Well, that's so powerful. Who here is giving we have affirmative notebooks to write, right? Gail? It's like all this work is being done. Okay. But I'm talking about another clarity of intention. This is your intention to evolve. That's a bigger intention than meeting your ideal weight, a bigger intention than even completing your degree or marrying your perfect partner. It is more than princes, palaces, and parking spaces. It is that evolution, it is that desire to evolve. That can be our only intention, and we are taken away from that intention quite easily. How many of you seen the movie Up with the balloon? Do you remember the dog? Would always get distracted. It would be squirrel, and there we go. Squirrel. Anything that's shiny, it would direct its attention. It will lose focus. How many of us get easily distracted? Squirrel, let me do another workshop. Oh, there's this pathway, let me do that. what that is saying is that we're not okay where we are. What happens is we have our authentic self that desires to grow outward, and there's that ego self. Now, I'm sure you know the difference, but I'd like you to pay attention for your friends that operate from this way. Totally for them. First of all, your ego, it's going to hesitate in letting go. I love what Liz, no. Well, the comedian, Lily Tomlin. She says, everything I ever released had claw marks on it. That's that ego, hard to let go. Hard to let go of that thing we are doing in our life that is not our highest calling. It is not that thing that is impulsing us forward, but we're afraid to let go because it's safe. Because, well, maybe because we've invested all this money in it and that we're supposed to go that way. Or maybe it's that thing that's bringing us money. Or maybe it's the thing that people think we should do. But it's not ours. Our authentic self calls. The ego wants to hang on. There's 5 ways of knowing if it's your ego or your authentic self. Now, I know you probably already know this, but if you are overly concerned with how you look, that's your ego. We can all relate to that. 2, if you're easily offended. If you are offended, it's your ego. There is no room in there. Well, isn't it like some people, you just have to be offended by them. They're just offensive. Just in their look, they're offensive. I'm sorry, I keep pulling this up. The mic is connected to my skirt. It keeps falling down. So since it is not that kind of meeting here, just please excuse me. So if we are offended at anything, Wayne Dyer says, anything, it is our ego. It does not matter how justified we are in it. It doesn't matter. Any offense. 3rd, if you believe that your way is the right way. I remember reading an article about what couples break up over most. And it was not just the money thing. That was a given. But it was not sharing in the coming together of a household. That women, supposedly, would want to have things done a certain way in keeping up the house. You can tell this was a little dated, but for the most part, they wanted to keep the house clean, and then they had a hard time giving their partner, whether it is a man or a woman, because we take on these different roles. I don't know if you've noticed. It doesn't matter if you're with a man or woman, you both kind of assume this kind of balance. You don't have usually 2 really messy people get together. You have a messy person and an orderly person, and sometimes that orderly person in the next relationship looks messy compared to this person. It's because we always create a balance wherever we are. So relationship, they get together, one messy, one a little neater. I don't know where I was going with that. you believe you have the answer. That's right. Control. Control. One always wants to be in control. And in this article, it said, even when, in this study, when women tell their partners what they want and let them do it, they will come back and then do it how they want it. So that they've never really let go of that task in the first place. Now you can transpose that into a relationship at work. How many times do we give things, we let people do it? This is a big step. If we let them do it, and then we have to watch how they do it to make sure they did it right, because the way we do it is right. Save that for your friends. It's not you. When we are comparing ourselves to others, it is our authentic self that looks at them and we're inspired. We love that they've succeeded, and we want to know how they did it and how we could do it. The ego looks at others and compares themselves by saying, I'm not good enough. Look, only they could do that. Only they could be successful. Just as a side note, when I first came to religious science in 1985, I would sit at the back. Now, in the back in Oakland, that was a straight shot outside if you sat out back. Here, you have to sit over there where those people are. So I'll just talk to you over there. Because I would sit over there, and I would know that this was home, but I was afraid I was going to have to turn my life upside down, and I wasn't willing to. I was hanging on to what I thought was right, the way I was living. I felt like I was successful. It felt like I was had all the things, but I knew deep down that there was something in this philosophy that I needed, but I wasn't quite ready to embrace it. I wasn't quite ready to embrace my life. So I would run right out the door. It took a long time for me to get a cup of coffee in the back. Anybody? You're not going to raise your hand. And then we'll be catching you before you leave. It took me a long time to then take a class, and then I would get to know a couple of people. Then I could hear where I was being authentically happy for people. I stopped comparing myself somewhat to those who were more successful. But it's an ongoing process. How many of us have discovered this is an ongoing process for us? In fact, he says that really the path to enlightenment, it is in the desire itself. So your desire to move forward, to come from your authentic place, to have this evolutionary shift in your being, in that desire lies the ability to do it. It is like Ernest Holmes used to say, in the prayer, the prayer is already answered by the one who knows that's truth, the one praying. That prayer is already answered. But how many of us pray as if the prayer we desire, the thing we desire, is out there? The prayer is in the one praying and the prayer itself. The ability the desire to evolve, within that desire is the ability to do it. There is nothing you need to do. Just put your hand on your heart. Go within and tell yourself, there is nothing for me to do. Say it to yourself. Out loud. There is nothing for me to do. I know all I need to know. I know all I need to know. It is done. It is done. And I let go. There's nothing to do. Nothing more to know. You already know it. Is that good news or not good news? It's really, yay. That was my little cheerleading self. So we know all the answers. And yet there's this drive within us. Sometimes it's called to move farther and go farther because we think we'll be better. But what I'm telling you is, from this book and this evolutionary enlightenment, we are moving forward not because we have to, not because there's a need for us to get better or look better. It's because there is an impulse within us, our spiritual truth, that is calling us to a greater humanity. We have to stop just working on ourselves. It's boring. How many are you tired of the same old thing you have to work out? Okay, 2 of us. I dare you to go back in your journals. There. How many here journal at all? You don't have to read it aloud, and you go back and you go, I was dealing with that. I thought, I thought I got over that, but no, I'm still writing about it. And we are at a place in our society where we have to let go of thinking we need to do anything else other than support the rest of these wonderful beings here and outside. At that volunteer table, there should be a flood of people going there in order to serve the greater humanity. Because what you do, it has a ripple effect, and it affects out there in incredible ways. However, we still must not approach other people with a view of thinking that they need us in order to be better. See what a tricky place that is? We must serve those around us knowing that they're perfect right where they are. There's not the server and the served. It is the 2 people coming together in whatever capacity or we are doing it and expressing a greater sense of humanity. That is evolutionary enlightenment. Amen. It's that Pentecostal in me. You've stepped off the clarity train, the clarity of intention train. When you start hanging around, or when you continue to hang around negative people, negative people will bring us down. And it's very easy to get caught up in that. A lot of us, it happens with our family, but it could be those other people at work, anyone who's negative. The more we dwell on that level of negativity is the more we stay there. And I am not saying to do a spiritual bypass when something painful is happening. Anyone hear the spiritual bypass? Can somebody tell me what it is? Oh, that's right. I get paid for being here, so I'll tell you. It's when we look at something that is devastating to us and we say, that's okay. It's for the highest good. When we don't allow ourselves to grieve because we say, really, there are many lives and they are coming back as another spirit. That does not soothe the broken heart that misses someone. So we have to let ourselves go to that place to grieve, to be angry, and then know that His Spirit is at work. We have to own our authentic feelings. The person who is running from their ego, well, they stay in the place of negativity. Those are the 5 warning signs that you're not coming from your place of clarity with your intention, and your intention is to evolve. I'll read them back to you just in case for your friends. Your intention will respond to how you are, watching for these signs. Don't be overly concerned what other people think. I care not what other people think. Say it with me. I care not what other people think. Yes. When we stop being easily offended, when we believe our way is the only right way, when we compare ourselves to others, and when we hang out in low energy vibrations. There's a book by Esther Hicks, The Power of Intention. It's one of those titles, I'm not sure. But Esther Hicks, and she says there's this whole line of vibrational energies, this whole way of feeling, where joy and love is at the top, depression is at the bottom. Are some of you familiar with this work? The evaluation of energies. And sometimes anger is the highest emotion. If you have been depressed, that's anger inward. So when we're angry, that's a higher vibration than being depressed. And sometimes you want to say, yes, you go to whoever it is that's in front of you. If they're angry, you want to encourage that. I can see you guys are just right there. I can't wait to encourage my friend to be angry. Because it's easier to watch someone be depressed. The enlightened way is to allow people to be the way they are, ever seeing the good that they are, lifting them up to that place. I understand your anger, and it's okay. I understand your grief, and it's okay. For us to be enlightened, the power of choice has to be ours. This is what Andrew Cohen says. This tenet asks us to be responsible for nothing less than the destiny of the evolutionary process, here and now as ourselves. This is the power of taking responsibility. Owning what is ours and speaking from that place. Owning If we don't like something, we get to be the ones that help change it. If we don't like something, we get to be the ones to change it. That applies in your own self. It applies in your family. If there's some family stuff going on and you notice that it's uncomfortable, guess what? It's not them. Take a deep breath. It's not them. It's us. We get to be responsible. Do you see what a higher calling this is? If we want the government to be different, we have to step up. Wouldn't it be amazing? I just thought of this. If whenever we said something negative, we had to pair it with a statement about where we're taking action to fix it. How many negative things would you say? If you don't like something in your spiritual community, it doesn't mean leaving is not the answer. It is coming here in community to figure out how everyone is served, even that person who doesn't like what's happening, for us to step up and say what's true for us. You've heard the joke about the guy who's on a ship and the ship gets wrecked and he's the only survivor on a small island. And they've sent out, airplanes to try and find any wreckage and any survivors. And they keep trying, and so it turns into years. Then they finally found this guy. They find the one survivor. And when they go to him, he has created 3 huts. And they asked him, what are these different huts? And he says, well, this is the hut I live in. And this hut over here is my church. And they said, well, what is this hut? It's the other church I go to now. We can find wrong with just about anything. But we have to realize it's here. It reminds me of the story of the soap manufacturer and the minister walking down the street. And the soap manufacturer tells the minister, you know what, this truth thing that you teach people, I don't think it's doing much good, because look at all the crime and death there is, all the violence. And the minister's thinking about it when they approach a playground of kids, sliding down the slides and getting dirty and doing all this stuff. And the minister turns to the soap manufacturer and says, looking at these kids, as dirty as they are, I'm thinking your business isn't doing very well. And the soap manufacturer says, well, of course my soap does good. The trick is you have to use it. And the minister says, as with the teachings of truth, you have to use them. You have to use this teaching that there is only one of us. There is one mind, one source, one love. One love. All of us are an expression of that one love. Put your hand on your heart and just say, I am an expression of that one love. I am an expression of that one love. I'm going going to ask you just breathe that in. Breathe that into your heart. Each of us, our own unique expression of that one love. That's what we've come here to do, is be that love. To be it in our greatest, our strongest way of being. In religious science, we teach that there is no mediary between God and ourselves. We are it. We are the place where God shows up. This last tenet, face everything, avoid nothing. Face everything. It's very easy to hang out in denial, bury our head in the sand. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, obviously, but how many people here go through 12-step? It's getting out of denial and knowing that God is that which is carrying us to our healing. If we're able to face who we are without judgment. Are you ready to do that? Yes. Yes. I love that. Look at this. Hallelujah, sister. Thank you. There is an amen up here. It is like, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. I would actually like to take prayers. I love praying. And if there is something that's calling you, whether it is you want to release your ego's need to be right, if you want to release your ego's desire to always take care of things, not trusting that others can do it for you, just as good as you, whatever it is that's calling you to step to a next level, I invite you to say your prayer request as though it's already done. I give thanks I'm stepping into a kinder, gentler way of being. I give thanks that I have let go of control and trust others to keep me in touch, whatever it is. I know it's out there. Some prayer requests. Blessed be. Let's acknowledge. Blessed be. Blessed be. I give joy for my sacred service. Blessed be. I heard it. I give thanks for the peace within. Blessed be. Blessed be. I give thanks for the music. You give thanks for what? Declaring that which is calling you forth in your life. Blessed be. And these people who have bravely spoken out, we are witnesses to you. And what I also say is a prayer for one is a prayer for all, because there is only one. So as they are declaring it, in your blessed be is the knowingness that it's happening to you, that this is your truth. Blessed be. thanks for spiritual living, and I invite you now with that to go within. And we just allow ourselves to sink into the chair. Feel your legs heavy upon the chair and feel your back supported. Feel your shoulders drop and feel the placid smile come across your face like the face of the Buddha. It is that face of contentment. And as that small smile is on your face, it is going inward to direct you in this prayer. It is from this place of relaxing, of knowing the sense of contentment, that we enter into conscious connection with the source of life. That one source, that one love, that one that is ever expressing itself so uniquely, so beautifully throughout nature, throughout the galaxies and beyond. That which is infinite is also personal. It is the lover of my soul, and I call it God. And what is true for me is true for each and every person here, each of us, an expression of that one love. I know each of us here, each person and the people they contact, their relationships, each person lifted to another level of being, a higher level of being. One in which the intention to evolve as a spiritual being is bigger than ever. Each person here moving past the ego to identify the authentic self, that which is loving and giving. Each of us here ready for the call. Each of us here answering the call right now. So I give thanks for this truth and the incredible ways in which it reveals itself. Truly, good is happening here. God is happening here. So in gratitude for this and so much more, please know with me and call with me, and so it is.
Special music, right? Okay. Thank you, Reverend Josephine. We're going to share one of those Rumi tunes with you right now. This is one where Rumi reminds us that we are all connected. And it's kind of got some of Rumi's greatest, we call them Rumi's greatest hits, greatest one-liners. He's got so many. This is a song called I Didn't Know. Through the day I thanked you, and I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. I thought I was myself, and I didn't know. But I was all you, and I didn't know. You want to sing I Didn't Know? Through the day I thanked you, and I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. I thought I was myself, and I didn't know. But I was all you, and I didn't know. Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. But what is there to open when no walls remain? Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. But what is there to open when no walls remain?